And the first one is because of the shift. And I believe I'm part of the shift, David, and the shift that God is beginning to raise up the voices of the First Nation and the Indigenous people throughout our land. And I believe it's because of what is ahead of us. And so I've been constantly having this vision. And in this vision, I see myself, and I'm doing this Aboriginal dance, and it just seems to come part of me. It's all in me. So I'm doing this Aboriginal dance in this vision. And as I'm dancing, I know that I'm in a place where there's red dust, and the red dust begins to come up under my feet. It begins to come up under my feet, and I was been just seeking the Lord about this vision, and he says to me that man has been made from the dust of the earth. And he said there's beginning to shift. A shift is happening, that I'm beginning to raise up the voice and to raise up the people of the land. And to me, the red dust is the people of the land. And as I'm dancing and I'm praying in tongues, and I'm interceding and praying for the nation and for my people, and God continues to speak this to me over the last few months. And he begins to say to me that the representation of my people, that there's a shift and there's a new representation of the voice and the people of the land is about to come forth. Not only that, as I'm dancing, and all of a sudden there comes this wind out of nowhere. As I'm dancing and this red dust is rising up under me, this wind comes. And then I began to pray into the nation and into the land. Ezekiel chapter 37, where he says, prophesy to the valley of dry bones. As I'm dancing this Aboriginal dance on the land, he's saying, prophesy. And he's saying there are many that have been wounded. There are many that have been hurt. There are many that have been trodden down. There are many that are discouraged. There are many that are given up the fight. There are many that have died in the battle. There are many that have been wounded. And as I began to speak Ezekiel, and he said, pray and prophesy for the wind of the Spirit. And as I'm doing this, Dan, the wind of the Spirit begins to come and begins to blow. And as I'm dancing, this wind begins to blow, and the red dust begins to blow out over the land. And he said to me, Ada, what the enemy meant for evil, God will turn it around for good. When the wind of the Spirit comes, when the wind of the Spirit, as we know in Acts chapter 2, the disciples, they were positioned. They were in a place of readiness. They were in a place of preparation and getting ready for when they didn't know what was going to happen. They knew that something was going to happen because Jesus asked them to be positioned and to be ready and to be waiting. And we know that the wind of the Spirit came. There was a rattling and a shaking, not only in the valley of the dry bones, but even there was a rattling and a shaking right there, with the wind coming, in the day of Pentecost. And you just spoke about that, David. That the Spirit, there's the wind, supernatural things happen.
Wow.
And we have to continue to pray into the supernatural dimension of the Spirit of God. No one can do it, but only God's going to do it.
Yeah.
We know 3,000 people got saved in that one day.
Come on.
So I believe that we are at a place of preparation. We're at a place of praying. The wind of the Spirit is coming as we're positioned. And the